What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ride the 6. We're still continuing with the R6 conversion on the FZ6R. We're at the point now where we need to disconnect all the old brake lines from the FZ6R and start playing with the controls of the bars. I got my buddy Darren here to help me with the brakes and kind of draining the fluids because it's a little messy. So I got an extra set of hands. Darren, say hi.
Hey guys, looking forward to do this conversion. It's pretty awesome here what Jay's doing. So far as we know, it's the first one, and this is going to be really sick when it's done. So let's get this brake lines off here.
Let's
buddy.
get her done. All
Okay.
right, guys, stay tuned. All right, so we're going to start by removing some of the brake fluid in the FZ6R reservoir, just because we don't want it leaking all over the place. So we're going to drain some fluid. All right, let's get that cover off. So 2 little Phillips screws, guys, in the top cover. Nothing fancy, not rocket science. Screws are out. Let's pop the top cover. All right. All right, guys, so as you can see, this reservoir is full, and because it is on a bit of an angle right now, it is kind of trying to run out. All right, so Darren's done this before. He can kind of explain what he's doing because I haven't done this.
So guys, what we're doing here is we're going to use a syringe. It's just a 2,000 ml standard medical syringe without the needle on the end of it. And you always want to try to wear gloves when you're doing this, and protect any parts of the bike around the master cylinder reservoir, because this is very caustic stuff. It eats paint, and you definitely don't want to get that on your plastic bodywork or anywhere that's a painted surface, because it'll instantly eat the paint right off it. So we just work very slowly with this, draw it all up, and it's always good to have a container nearby so that you can dump this into. And if you guys look at the color of this, you can notice it's a very dark brown amber color. That means it's got a lot of water in it. It hasn't been changed in a while. So whenever you change this, you want it to have a nice clear color to the fluid. So it's good. We're going to get this out of here.
Yep, just drop that oil pan on the floor and drain it into that pan. Yep. Alright guys, so as you can see, we have the reservoir fairly empty. We should be able to take off the hose now without maybe dropping too much fluid all over the place. And we'll get this, we'll get the front master cylinder off the bike. Guys, we've got most of the fluid out. We're just going to release the bolt here. Actually, we need to take this all the way out, don't we? Yep, we need to take this all the way out, guys, because we need to get the cabling.
Why don't I do that?
And all the hoses out of here.
And you grab the hose in case it drops.
Okay, I've got the hose. I'm going to pull the hose up right. You try to plug that hole.
Yeah, that's okay. I got it.
There's a washer there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So as you can see, guys, you may need 2 hands to do this, or 2 sets of hands. It's a little trickier to do yourself.
Watch your crush washer here. And
Crush washer. Okay, you know what? We'll just do this.
Yeah.
Let's put it back in.
Yeah, and then you have your crush washer on the back side. So guys, there's 2 crush washers on a brake line. One that goes on the top side of the nut and the other one that goes on the back side. And those are essential to seal this.
So I have the FZ6R calipers just tie wrapped up to, I guess this one, the fairing mounting points. It's just a grommet, and this one's actually bent. The other side doesn't look like this. So now I'm going to remove the hose, and we're going to actually drop the calipers as well. We're just going to cut the tie wraps.
Okay, I'm going to cut it right now.
Yep. Okay, we're going to cut the second caliper, guys. And we are going to let whatever brake fluid left in the line drain out. Alright guys, so there we go. We have the front calipers disconnected from the bike. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the front brake master cylinder off the FZ6R. It's 2 Allen keys.
Got it?
Oh! There's some more brake fluid.
Where'd that spill down?
On the cloth.
Okay. You got some here, you wipe it up.
Yeah. That one made a little bit of a mess, guys. We're going to tip that over, let it drain out in the dish. And we're just going to wipe up. Yeah, spray that crap on it. We're just going to wipe up the area where the brake fluid hit. It ended up right on top of the rad. Just clean that up a little bit. Alright, we should be good there. Okay. Alright, so there you go, guys. FZ6R front brake master cylinder is off. The FZ6R brake calipers are off. And we can start piecing together the R6 brakes. So this is the front master brake cylinder from a 2008 R6. We're going to mount this roughly in the same location where the old FZ6R one was. And I'm going to get Darren to kind of bolt it in as I hold it.
Guys, when you're doing this, it's really important that you first tighten one just a little bit, and then you walk up and tighten the other one, and then go back down to the bottom. You don't want to over torque this. This is aluminum.
Yeah, these bolts are probably 15 pounds tops, I would say.
A little bit at a time on each one. And you just snug, and maybe just a little bit past hand tight. 1/8 of an inch, maybe even a 1/16 of an inch past hand tight, and that's good enough.
All right, there we go, guys. We got the front master cylinder on from the R6. And let's see what we have to do next. Guys, we're going to take the standard FZ6R clutch lever off. We don't necessarily need to do this right now, but we're going to do it just so we can get the other matching lever on the bike. And wiggle that lever a little bit, Darren. Look how fucked up my lever is, guys. Like, it is pretty much pooched.
Guys, this is why you don't go with the cheap Chinese junk. Because although you're saving yourself $60 or $70, it's not worth a real bad day on the road. At the very least, with this, you're not coming home with your bike unless it's on a trailer.
Yeah, and this was the $30 eBay special set of levers, guys. They looked great when I bought them, but you can see, like, those are supposed to be black, and it's actually turning to a gold. The paint is actually fading, and you'll be able to see it once we get the lever off the bike here. So yeah, the plan was, guys, to change these levers this year anyway. And as you saw in the previous video, I picked up a set of the ASV gold levers that came off a 2008 R6. We believe the perch is the same, and we're just going to try to swap the new lever in there.
Okay, guys, so when you're taking the clutch lever off, what you're going to do is you're going to turn the adjuster. Screw, and if you can see it in here, there's actually a slot or a groove where the cable fits into, and you have to line that up with the front.
Come around to this side.
Come around to this side, yeah. And then you see once it lines up, then you can slip your clutch out, and from there you can remove it from the lever.
Supposedly. There we go. So there we go, guys. The old lever's off. It's actually, show them the color difference. So take a look at that, guys. That's the $30 eBay special. That was the color of that lever when I bought it, black. You can see how much the sun has faded that, and it's almost like a gold or a brown now. So yeah, $30 special, not going back on the bike again. So we had a couple little small complications getting the new R6 lever on. We couldn't really film it, it was a little bit too involved. So what we've done, we've left the original FZ6R perch on the bike. All we did is just loosen it off, just enough to get the lever off and the clutch cable off. And this is the R6 lever that came off the R6 perch. All we've done is essentially switch the lever. So we have it roughly where we want for now. We're going to adjust it later on. And Darren, I guess you could start tightening that guy down.
Right. And again, guys, like always, just tighten it up if you don't have a torque wrench until it's snug, hand tight, and maybe go an 1/8 or a 1/16 of an inch just past that.
Okay. And the last thing to do, just a little 8mm socket. We're just going to retighten the perch on the bars. Again, we're just going to snug it up because we don't really know where the final resting location of this stuff is going to be.
Just the one?
That's it, just the one. Alright guys, so there you go. We have the R6 front master brake cylinder on. And we have the handle and the clutch lever from the same R6. Another ASV lever. So essentially we have new levers on the bike. R6 geared up. And now we need to look at future stuff. Now we need to look at the brakes, the brake lines, etc., etc. We got the gold levers, we got the gold forks, and like I said, the next thing we need to work on is how all the brake lines and brakes get fitted to the forks. That's the next thing we need to look at. Check it out, fresh box arrived today. This is part of the R6 front end conversion on the FZ6R. I ordered this on the weekend. Today is Thursday, so we're looking at, I guess, 3 or 4 days. And it is coming in from the Belle Province of Quebec. Super, super excited. You wait till you guys see this. This is going to be freaking epic. I'll give you a little hint. This box is light as a feather. Alright, let's get all this stuff out of the way. You don't even need the box. Let's get rid of that. Wow. Super, super excited. Just make sure we get all the tape and stuff off of here. Alright, let's get in. Wow, this thing is packaged really nicely. Definitely protected very well. And it's protected again by another layer. Bam! Wow. Check that out, guys. Check that out. This is my very, very first real piece of carbon fiber that I've ever had on any bikes or cars or anything. This thing is light. Wow, look at that pattern. Hopefully you guys can see that. It looks absolutely amazing. So this is the R6 front fender for a 2008 R6. The one I had was one from a 2005, and technically it would not fit on the bike. So I got a little scale here. I just want to turn this on. We're going to measure this and see how heavy this fender actually is. Alright. If I can get it to lay here. Alright, we're at 0.516 pounds, guys, for the front fender without the fairings, without the grommets, without the screws. 0.516 pounds. I measured the FZ6R fender the other day. It's 0.725 pounds. So we're shaving off another 1/4 of a pound off the bike with this carbon front fender. This thing is awesome. I hope the camera actually does it justice, guys, to be honest. I don't know if it will, but it looks absolutely incredible. Alright, let's test fit this on the bike. Let's see what it looks like. So I've been struggling for a couple minutes trying to get the fender on. It is a little tricky, and I kind of put it on the wrong way at first, but I'm trying to be really careful not to scratch this. The finish is absolutely beautiful. So there's two things here with the R6. So I've taken the grommets and the screws that I had from my 2005 R6 front fender. I did check the part numbers online. It's not the same part numbers as the 2008, but they're very, very close, and they're just grommets and screws. I really don't see there being a big difference here. So the rear one gets bolted in behind the caliper mount, and then the front one actually gets bolted in front of the caliper mount. So this thing is a little tricky to position to get on the bike, and I didn't want to scratch it, so I didn't really record that part. But anyways, we're going to tighten this all down because I do have it in the right spots now. So 2005 grommets and bolts. This one has a nut on the back of it. We're just going to kind of put this stuff in place for now. And this one's threads right in, direct into the caliper brackets. Alright, so this side is tight enough for now. Again, I'm still trying to piece things together. We still have brake lines here we have to address. That's coming very soon as well. Let's go around to the other side. Alright, so same thing here. The rear one gets mounted in behind the caliper bracket. And again, there's just a nut on the back, so we're just going to snug this down for now. There we go. And the front one gets bolted in front of the caliper mount. So let's tighten this one down. Alright, good for now. So there we go, guys. R6 full carbon front fender on the FZ6R on the R6 forks. This thing looks awesome. Check it out, guys. Check that out. I'm going to double check the clearance here because this should be freely be able to move up and down the forks here afterwards. So this is a fender from MotoComposites out of Quebec, Canada. This is what they call the plain carbon gloss. So they have a bunch of different patterns. This is the plain carbon glossy. They have some different weaves and stuff, and you can also get colors too if you really want. But yeah, they shipped it very quickly, and check that out, guys. Pretty cool. So that's one piece I've been waiting for. The next item here is brakes. You can see I have things just kind of freely mounted up here. Not quite finalized on the brake setup as of yet, but that is coming real soon. So I maybe am anticipating a bit of an issue here, because if I'm not mistaken, the reservoir always has to be higher than your master cylinder, because the brakes are gravity fed on bikes, where they're not like that on cars. But anyways, I do have a couple parts here I want to stick on. This is the stock mounting point for, I guess, the brake reservoir bracket on the 2005 R6. So I'm going to pull this little bolt out. I don't actually know which way it goes. I guess it probably goes that way. But anyways, there's a little sleeve. I guess the sleeve slides down in the bracket. And it does seem to fit. Alright, so I just take a pair of pliers. I did squeeze that little, I guess, sleeve down inside the piece. It's kind of like a press fit. It doesn't just slide in. There was a couple grooves that were preventing it from going all the way down. But let's get this mounted up on the bike. I don't have an R6. I've never had an R6. But I have looked at the parts manuals online. And this is where this little piece mounts, apparently. We'll just snug it up. Okay, that's pretty good, guys. I hope I have it mounted right, but I think I do. That sleeve doesn't really go anywhere else, and it has to fit in that hole. It can't go anywhere else. The next piece I have, this is just a little tiny piece, 901830580 from Yamaha. And all this does, this literally slides on right here. Wow, even that piece is being stubborn. It does slide on there, I do promise you. There we go. So it's just a little clip for essentially this screw from the reservoir to screw into. But you could see the problem. Our hose is too short and the reservoir is going to sit too low, I believe. So we may have to do something different here with the brake reservoir. Alright guys, so there you go. Thanks for tuning in. That's probably as far as we're going to get in this episode. You can see I've thrown the horn bracket on for the R6. We will have to use that bracket and probably the horn from the R6. And you can see I've thrown the stay bracket back on the bike. And pretty soon we're going to be kind of finalizing everything, hopefully. My wheel is at the shop being repaired, so you'll probably see that in the next video. I'm probably picking it up this weekend. And yeah, the last thing, guys, is just kind of finalizing this brake setup and see how it all goes together. Anyways, special shout out to Darren for helping me kind of take the brakes apart and kind of get all the old cabling and routing off, draining all the brake fluid. Alright guys, stay tuned, and if you're riding, ride safe.